again. Okay, perfect. Okay, so very welcome everyone. We are going to do a restorative yoga session today, taken from one of my favorite books, Rest and Calm by Paula Hines. I've done a lot of practices on this book before, but it's basically going to be a session to soothe symptoms of fatigue. With the clocks going back this weekend, with it getting darker a little bit earlier, energy levels tend to generally decrease this time of year. So instead of kind of pushing against that, we're going to do practice to soothe symptoms of feeling a bit tired, maybe feeling a little bit fatigued. I'm just going to beat you up. Okay, so we're going to go straight into our first restorative posture, which is going to be a supported child's pose. So if you have your bolster, your pillows, just have them in front of you now. So if you've got 2 or 3 pillows, turn them lengthways. And if you have a cushion, a nice option is to grab the cushion and place it underneath your pillows away from you, so towards the other end. So then a nice option on top of this is to, if you have a blanket, to roll up the blanket and just pop your blanket on top of your heels underneath your bum. So just mixing it back towards the heels for a little bit longer period of time. Comfortable. Then you're going to shuffle yourself a little bit closer towards your props. And the arms come down to the side as you eye the front of the body, chest in. Turning chin to forehead down. Keep my head slightly lifted. Chest. And sometimes it might be quite nice here to hug top of your pillows, bolster. Some people like to just place the arms down. Also some legs down. Just taking a moment to see how the shape feels. From here, close this. So whether the eyes are open, just finding a softening face. Maybe any adjustments you need to like to get. Noticing where it's right for you to use your arms and hands. To shimmy. Let your gaze to a spot in front of you. Lovely. So with each exhale, you're giving the weight of your body down towards your props and to the ground. And if your mind does wander while you're here, or any of your other restorative yoga poses, you can gently guide your awareness back to the rise and fall of your breathing.
So the breath can be a point of return for you. Or alternatively, you can gently guide your awareness back to the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth. So that mind wandering is completely normal, but it's nice to have a point for the mind to come back to. If you'd like to turn the head now would be a good time. So you bring the opposite cheek down. And we'll be here for a couple more minutes in some stillness. Three more breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through your mouth. And again, in through the nose and out through your mouth. And when feels intuitive for you. So I'm going to move just a little bit slower than you normally do, just to not disturb the peace you've already created. So bringing the hands down either side of your bolster or your pillows, lifting yourself all the way up to seated for a moment. And then we're going to gently lift your bum off your blanket and just place that blanket to one side. And take your legs forwards for a moment and just let your legs lengthen out. You might even bring the hands back, maybe even flex and point the feet. Sometimes it can feel quite nice after an extended child's pose, just to bring some movement to the ankles. And then we're going to set up for our restorative twist from here. So you're going to keep the same setup of the bolster, your pillows and your cushion, but you're just going to turn yourself away from your props for a moment. This is where you might use your blanket just to cover yourself, your lower body to begin with. And then we're going to drop both knees over towards the left. So you just watch me first. We're going to drop both knees over towards the left. And then scoot your left hip a little bit closer towards your pillows. Both your head and your chest is going to twist towards the back of the mat, bringing your hands down either side of your props. This is really important because sometimes I teach this and then both hands come the same side. It's not that comfortable to rest down on. So both hands either side of your pillows or your bolster. The left side of the body comes down to rest on your bolster. Left cheek comes down. Option one. If you want a little bit more of a deeper twist, we're going to twist the head away from the knees and bring the right cheek down instead. So keeping the head the same way as the knees, a little bit more of a gentle twist, head away, a bit more of a deeper twist. So we might come into this and then see what feels comfortable for any of you. So both knees over towards your left, scooting your left hip a little bit closer towards your pillows, turning the head and the chest so that hands can come either side of your props, and then lowering yourself all the way down. This is where you might choose to keep the legs staggered here, or you can stack left leg on top of the right. If you want to stack both knees on top of each other, it's quite nice sometimes to have a blanket in between the legs like so. And then coming to lower yourself down into any posture that feels comfortable for you. So again, it might just take a moment just to kind of shuffle. I sometimes feel like, depending on where I am in my cycle, that my boobs can sometimes feel a bit crushed. So you might just need to have a moment just to shuffle a little to make sure that you feel comfortable. And once you've found your comfortable shape, eyes can be open or closed. And taking a few breaths here just to relax from the setup of this pose. Maybe some exhales through the mouth. And if at any point you notice a desire to yawn or sigh, sometimes I even notice my tummy kind of rumbles when I'm in restorative. These are all positive signs that you're moving into a calmer rest and digest state. Away from fight, flight, stress response. And as you're settling in, just noticing whether you're using any parts of the body that you don't need to be. So, for instance, sometimes I find I'm clenching through the jaw without even realizing. Perhaps it's frowning in the skin across the forehead. Maybe it's the fingers or the toes that can soften. And particularly allowing the abdomen to be soft here. So I'll be quiet now just for a little while. If your mind does wander, which is actually very natural, you can gently guide your awareness back to the rise and fall of your breathing, or the sounds in the room. And as I'm silent, whether you're practicing live or on demand, just know that I'm right here with you. 3 more breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, when you feel ready. If you've got the head facing the opposite direction as the knees, the first step would be to turn the head the same way as the knees. And then bringing the hands down either side of your pillows, bolster, pushing into your palms to carefully lift yourself up. And then slowly start to spin yourself back through middle. And just take a moment here through center. And you might come into a comfortable seated position. You might come into what we call seated child's pose, where we bring the feet a little bit wider and then wrapping the arms and the forearms around the knees or your shins, maybe interlacing your fingers and then letting the spine round slightly. So you're creating a little bit of a space and a container for yourself just to decompress after that twist. And then carefully lifting the head, the chest, and we'll come into that twist on the other side. So bringing the feet to about hip width apart. This time you're dropping both knees over towards the right. And then scooting the right hip a bit closer towards your props. And then hands come down either side of your props. This time you're lying the right side body down and the right cheek down. Always an option if you want to turn the head towards the opposite direction. Change the positioning of your legs if you want to. So you don't have to mirror the same thing that you did on the other side. And once you've found your shape, I'm going to be here for a little while. Using every exhalation to release into the support of the props and the earth beneath you. The earth and the props are there to hold you up so that you don't have to hold yourself up. 3 more breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, when you feel ready, hands can come down either side of your props. Carefully start to lift your body off and spin yourself back through center. And we're just going to decompress from that twist by taking a forward fold. So just let the legs extend forwards. You can take them a little bit wider than hip width apart if you want to. And either letting your hands slide down the legs or maybe either side as you let your chin drop down and moving the upper body forward just as far as it wants to go. And we're letting the spine round a little, so let the head be heavy. Be here for a couple of breaths. So really allowing each exhalation to be an opportunity to release through tighter parts of your body. Last breath here. And carefully lifting yourself all the way up to seated. Beautiful. Ooh, so take some time here. We're going to come into our last restorative where we'll be for the remainder of the time in this class. So I'm going to grab my chair. You can also practice with a bed, or if you don't have a bed, you can take a stool or a sofa, just anywhere that you can kind of hang your legs on top. I'm going to grab my chair because that's what of easy access to me. Okay, so once you've got your chair, your bed of reaching distance, we're going to think about sitting in front of whatever you're going to hang your legs on top, and then seeing if you can hang the whole of your lower leg. So making sure the backs of the knees, the whole of the back of the shin, and your ankles and your feet are hanging off your bed or your chair. So this is really important that the knees are actually supported as well, because if the knees are not supported and you're in this posture instead, it creates a little bit of tension in your hips. So making sure that you shuffle yourself forward so the whole of the lower leg is supported by your prop. And then coming to lie back, and this is where you might use your cushion, for instance, underneath your head. I always like to have a nice extra thick, cozy blanket on top of me, maybe even on top of your legs as well, just to create a little bit more weight, but also warmth in your body. And then this is where, if you want to use an eye cover, it might be quite nice just to pop something on top of your eyes. So you don't have to have like an eye cover. You can have like a clean t-shirt, a scarf, something. And then bringing the arms down either side of your body, or if you prefer to place the hands on the belly, that might be quite a nice option. Just checking in, seeing if you want to remove any hair bubbles, any earrings, or anything that can kind of prevent your body from totally softening and relaxing. Eyes can be closed or open if you're not using your eye cover. And as you remain here, I'm going to guide you through a pranayama called triangle breathing, just for a couple minutes before settling into stillness. So we'll start by visualizing a triangle in your mind's eye. And as we breathe, we're going to trace along each side of the triangle. So we'll begin in the bottom left-hand corner. And as you inhale, see if you can count up to 4 as you breathe in, tracing along the first side of the triangle. And then hold for the count of 4, tracing along the second side. And then exhaling for the count of 7 as you trace along the third and final side. We'll begin again. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that going. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Couple more rounds with your own breath. Next time you exhale, see if you can release this breathing rhythm. So allow this breath to controlled breathing to release. Nothing else to do but rest and breathe. Beginning to deepen your breath. Starting to take a sweeter, maybe lighter breath in and out. And as your breath starts to deepen, I'd just like to offer a post-practice reflection. How can I support my mind and body this week? How can I support my mind and body this week? So just keeping that reflection in your heart space. Always nice to have something to contemplate on after practice as you begin to invite some gentle movement to your fingertips. Maybe nod the head very gently from side to side. And then slowly, you can keep the blanket on top of you. Start to draw the knees in as you slide your legs and your feet off whatever you're got your legs on. And then just roll yourself to one side. And we'll just rest on one side of the body for a moment. So left or right side doesn't really matter. Bending your bottom arm, just create a little pillow for yourself. A moment to gather yourself from your practice. And then either ending the video here, or if you'd like to come up to seated, gently lifting yourself up and coming into any comfortable seated position, facing roughly this way. So we can bring the hands on towards your body somewhere. So maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, maybe both hands on the belly. And just bowing the head down towards your heart, thanking you and your body for your practice today. And silently repeating to yourself in your head, may I be well. May I be safe. May I be at ease. Take a last breath in. Letting that breath go. Thank you so much, everyone, for practicing. Take good care. And I'm going to end the video now.